Hello, my name is Daryl, and this is Programming in Any Language. We are working with C# right now, but the principles are the same in any language. Master these principles, and you can easily jump to any other language. Today we're going to take a quick look at the concept of string concatenation. String concatenation is simply gluing one string to another to form a larger string or a new string altogether. It's a lot easier to see this in action than it is to explain it. This is a form that's going to demonstrate concatenation. What I've got here is a text box that'll hold first name, another one for middle initial, last name, and the title. I've got those things properly set up right here. As you can see, I want to bring the property window down here so we can look at this. Look it up to the side here and make it a little bit smaller. And what you're looking at, I'll go to the very top area here. I can look at this. So I've got first name, for example. I've got to call txt first, txt mi, txt last, and txt title. I did adjust the fonts on these things so they can be seen. So I've got them set as, look at the font area. I've got them all set to bold so they appear a little bit better on here. And I've set the size to 10 so we'll be able to see the names in these things. And I kind of made that consistent across the board here so we can look at that. I've got an output label right here, and I've got this thing set up as LLBL out. And its fonts also are bold and size 10, so they look the same. And they have some buttons down here as well. So we're looking at the buttons, and they're set up as BTN first last, BTN last first, and BTN title first last, middle initial last. So it kind of gives me a clue as to how I want to format the data that's coming from here and putting into here. If we go to code, I'm going to click on the first last button right now and create an event for it. We'll do that and create a click event. Button first last click event is going to be there. I've got some variables already set up right in here. I've got the str first name, str first, which will hold the first name, strmi, str last, and str title, which will hold the last name when I bring this in. So when I write the code, I'm going to go to my text box. I'm actually going to go to my str first variable. Str first is going to be equal to txt first.text, which is going to bring in the text box, the property, the contents of the text box of the first text box called text first. I'm going to then go to str middle initial and make that equal to my txt middle initial.text. Same thing with str last. I'm going to make that equal to txt last.text, and I'm going to bring in str title and make that equal to txt title.text. So that brings in the four pieces that I want. So I'm actually going to give this little comment right here and say read. Oops, I got to say read text. I have a couple slashes in front of this thing. Read text boxes. Then what I want to do is I want to concatenate the data. So I'm going to say concatenate data. You certainly don't have to make these comments in here like this, but this is very helpful because it kind of gives you an idea what you're doing. Since this is the first last button, I want to say that my output label, or actually I'm going to create another variable called the output. Let's do this string str output and create a memory variable for that. Holds formatted output. And I'm going to do this by saying string output is equal to, and I'm going to concatenate the variable. I want the first and last names. I want str first plus, I want to put a space between the first and last names. So I'll do this, and I'll say plus str last. And then a semicolon because it'll be done at that point in time. This couldn't spell output, that's why we have an error right here. It's the beauty of concatenation. Why do I have this blinking cursor here? because I have input probably. Yeah, I had the input button pressed on this thing. So that'll put it there. Now it doesn't put it out in the label yet, so we need to do that. So I'll say display output. And what we want to do there is we're simply going to say that LBL out is going to be equal to str output. And that'll be the extent of that. Oh, output.text. And I'll clean up that error. So that should work. If I actually go ahead and run this thing now, save it and I'll run it. My form comes up, and I should be able to type in, let's see, Daffy D-U-C-K, be Mr., and then I'll do a first name, last name, and Daffy Duck pops up in here. Maybe I'll center this thing as we go in there. So it'll be very easy to do the rest of these very quickly. So let's go ahead and try that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this property of this label output here. I'd like to center it. So I do this to the text boxes as well. I'm going to center it, make this thing come out in the center box here. So it kind of shows up that way. Now I'm going to take this last first, and I'm going to create an event for it. By double-clicking at it, I create that. Most of what I've got up here I'm going to want. So I'm going to grab all of these things and lay them in here. That'll save me some typing. I do want to change this to actually str last. And we'll put a comma in here. And then make this str first. And put that one together. Should work. Do a save. Do a run. Get our Daffy deduct entered in here. Mr. again. First last works. Last first works and puts the comma in between. Duck Daffy. Okay. This one, of course, doesn't do anything because there's nothing there yet. Let's format this one. Again, I'll go to the form. I'll double-click on the button. It'll create the button title first, middle initial, last, and I'll end up grabbing all the same data here, bringing it down, reading all the text boxes. I'm going to do this label should stay the same. It's the concatenation piece that'll be different. So my string output is going to be a little bit different here. I'm going to actually blow this entire thing away and start out fresh. And I'm going to say that should be equal to the title first. So it'll be str title plus, give it a space, and we'll do a plus. We want the first name, str first, plus, we want the middle initial. Well, first we'll put the space in here. Now we're going to do the middle initial. And we'll put a period after the middle initial. So I'm going to go ahead and put a plus in here. Period and the space and a quote. And then I'm going to put in another plus. And I'm going to add the str last. And put a semicolon on that. And that should format the data according to the way we have the button title set up. Title first, middle initial, then the last name, with all the proper pieces in here, the spaces and the periods and so on down the line. Do a save on this. Go ahead and run it. Bring this piece up. Type in our Daffy. Make it Mr. And do a first last. That Daffy Duck comes up. Last first and the title. Mr. Daffy D Duck. And notice the spacing in here. We've got the spaces in between the Mr. Daffy D. We have a period added to the middle initial, so it comes up nicely with a period in there. And the format's very nice. So this is string concatenation. What you're actually doing, you're taking all those bytes and you're combining them and putting them in the fashion that you want to see them. And you can store them in a separate variable for this as well. So this is basically what it is. Very straightforward, very simple, very easy to do. I think seeing concatenation in action helps a lot when trying to understand the concept. It also showcases how the variables can be used as you step through your solution to a program. In the video example, it would have been just as easy to concatenate the text directly to the output label. There's really no need to have the string variables present, but by using them, you break up the solution into a series of steps. Read the text box into memory, concatenate memory variables, display the output. It's less confusing to write programs in little steps, far easier to understand the logic if you're looking at the code for the first time. We'll see a lot more of it in the future because once we learn more about how to manipulate strings, you'll be able to find out that we're able to write search algorithms to find specific words in text. Or we're able to count the number of occurrences in a particular word or name in text. We'll even be able to search and replace text in a document. Concatenation is just a start of some very, very powerful tools we'll be able to use in any language, not just C#. I hope to see you next time in the next video. Until then, take care.